local all morning. The Fox 61 Morning News starts now.
You guys need help evacuating?
Right now at 6, Florida and parts of the East Coast continuing to pick up the pieces from Hurricane Ian.
As rescue crews attempt to find those still missing and the death toll rises. Also, October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. But how did the new influx of state laws impact the protections that victims may need?
I had thought in that moment my child was dying.
Later, we're going to bring you a story of how a mother stuck on the side of the road was rescued by 2 complete strangers who just happened to be passing by.
Good Monday morning. Thanks so much for starting your new day and your new week off with us. I'm Erica Arias.
And I'm Tim Lammers. Good morning to you. Certainly feeling like fall out there. If you were out and about over the weekend, it was pretty cool outside. Question is this sort of downward slide of temperatures going to continue, and if so, for how long?
We're checking it with meteorologist Matt Scott for details about this is sort of unusually cool, is it not?
Well, it's still, you know what? I think you're just not used to the dreariness. It is not the warmest of weekends, and it looks like it's going to continue that way
is it
today.
Average, though?
A little cool. A little
Okay.
cool. You know what? It's amazing what no sunshine does to you, right? That's what it is. Good morning. New week. New month. Hello, October. Weekend dreariness. It continues into the Monday forecast. The artist formerly known as Ian, so close, yet very close by. It will result in some rain on Tuesday. Brighter second half of the week. We'll talk about that coming up. 49 in Hartford, 51 in New Haven, 53 in Groton. The wind is breezy out of the north and east. The rain knocking on our doorstep. A little bit of shower activity over Long Island. There's a lot more coming, slowly inching its way up. Today is mostly, if not completely dry. Look what happens overnight, though, as we start to see some rainfall start to move into the area, and that will be your Tuesday forecast. So decent amount of clouds out there, 48 degrees now, 58 later on this afternoon. Temperatures struggling as a result of all of this just dreariness. It just won't seem to go away. We'll talk about when it does leave coming up. Let's go to the roads right now. What's a leaving, what's a coming, what's a moving, what's a not moving?
Good morning.
I think I got it all, Lauren.
Yeah, you took all the words right out of my mouth. Lots are moving, lots are not stopped. That's good news out there here in the Fox 61 Traffic Center. Good morning, everyone. Let's bring you out to the Hartford area. We were seeing some heavier delays on both Route 5, also I-91 northbound. This is just due to construction cleanup. As we take these graphics full for you to take a live look outside over in the Weathersfield area, traffic has really moved out of this area closer into the capital city, so that is some good news to report there. Over in Waterbury, we're seeing some light volume out on the roads. Really nothing to complain about this morning out there as you're approaching the Mixmaster. Down in the New Haven, Fairfield area, we are starting to see a little bit of backup build between Bridgeport and Fairfield as we take a live look out there. You can see some tapping on the brakes, but overall a quiet morning out there. We'll check back in coming up in the next half hour, but for now, Tim and Eric, I'll send things back over to you. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Yeah, 6:03, but hundreds of thousands of people still don't have power, and rescue efforts are still going on for people impacted by Hurricane Ian.
And here to break down the latest for us, Keith McGilvery in the Fox 61 newsroom. Keith, what's the latest?
Oh, there is a lot happening here, Tim and Erica, as those recovery efforts are underway. Dozens reported dead so far. There are 61 confirmed deaths in Florida, 4 in North Carolina, and 3 in Cuba. Those some of the hardest hit areas now shifting their focus to rescue and recovery. This, of course, including people rescued from the islands, so many of them off Florida's coast. You're taking a look at video here. Residents of Pine Island returning to Florida's mainland after the hurricane destroyed the only bridge. This left those who rode out the storm stranded without power and water until they could be rescued by boat and transported back to mainland Florida.
They told us they're not going to be supplying any water or ice or anything else, and that left us much choice to set. We had to get off.
There is no word yet this morning on when those folks will be able to return, but across the state, the National Guard continues the search and rescue mission after saving more than 1,500 people. FEMA saying the scale of the operation unprecedented.
We pre-positioned the largest amount of search and rescue assets that I think we've ever put in place before.
White House pledging to provide as much aid as communities need in order to rebuild. But with the damage as it is, this effort will likely take years for some of the islands off the coast of Florida. Nearly every building was damaged by Ian. Now, all of this coming as the food pantry is in Florida has spent all kinds of time over the weekend being busy, handing out supplies to people who desperately need them. Gladiola's food pantry in Harlem Heights usually distributes food on Wednesdays to about 240 families or so. When the Hurricane Ian hit that Fort Myers area, the distribution was canceled. Canned black beans, bags of rice, and many other items were not distributed because much of that food was in the garbage. But pantry workers have been busy giving out the supplies that were not impacted by the storm.
We were able to start grilling and cooking food outside yesterday. We cooked for over 200 families that came and just eating outside.
And if you know this world at all, you know that pantries really can be a lifeline for many who are already struggling by the skyrocketing cost of both food and housing. So it all feels a little overwhelming. What can you do to help? Here at home, the Connecticut Blood Center is asking for help as they look to support blood centers impacted by the storms that hit Florida and the Southeast. Our team coverage continuing this morning. Fox 61's Angela Bavaro joining us with those details from the studio. Angela, what's going on here?
Hey, good morning, Keith. Yeah, you look at those images coming out of Florida right now. People want to help in any way they can. Some people at home may have already supported these relief efforts with money donations, but blood donations, those will also go a long way. The Connecticut Blood Center says those donations, they are essential to maintaining a stable supply of blood and platelets in those impacted regions. And that ultimately means you can help save lives and make sure patient needs continue to be met through this very difficult time. Now, this call for need coming as blood centers around the country, they are still facing shortages. And also in the mix now for those areas affected by Ian are anticipated disruptions in blood collections and transportation challenges, issues that will only exacerbate those already low inventories.
Many blood centers are reporting closer to 1 to 2 days of blood supply, which is very low. You ideally would want 3 to 5 days of supply for your hospitals. And so we're in this state right now as a blood center where we're trying to make sure that we have an adequate enough amount of blood to supply our CT hospitals. But at the same time, we want to continue to be able to answer the call for Florida.
And answering that call is very simple. Donating blood, this is a very simple process. All you have to do is make an appointment, and you can find more information on the links page of our website. That is fox61.com. Tim and Erica, I'll send it back to you.
Okay, Angela, thank you. Well, President Joe Biden is scheduled to head to Puerto Rico today to tour its damage from Hurricane Fiona. And this comes just after Congress approved money to add additional funding to FEMA's efforts. That was on Friday. It is likely that Congress would need to approve more cash for Puerto Rico and Florida, though, once the damage assessments in both places are complete.
Bloomfield police are trying to piece together what led to a teenage boy being shot in the leg. This happened on Saturday at home on Tyler Street. 3 kids were home at the time. Police say the initial call was for an accidental discharge, but when they arrived on the scene, 2 kids told police that a man dressed in black came into the home, shot the teen, and then left. The teenager was taken to a nearby hospital and is expected to be okay. Neighbors say they saw a heavy police presence and canine units on scene for several hours Saturday. They say it's concerning if it was in fact a shooter.
For this to happen is just rare. A kid, that's crazy. 14 is crazy. I mean, that's young.
The incident is under investigation. For more information, head over to fox61.com or the mobile app.
Well, coming in overnight, Bristol police said one man is facing robbery and a host of other charges after there was a holdup at an ATM. Early Sunday morning, Bristol police said they got a call of an armed robbery at the Webster Bank ATM on Farmington Avenue. A victim reported being held up at gunpoint. Well, police said they arrested and identified William Walker from Hartford. They said he actually tried to drive away after officers spotted him. but police said they managed to catch up to his car. Walker is now expected this morning in New Britain court. Hartford police are still investigating this morning after a weekend shooting. They said they were called to Winter Street just before 4 p.m. Saturday, and they found a man in his 20s with a gunshot wound. Police said he is stable right now at a hospital, and he is expected to survive, but there's no word yet on who shot him.
Fotis Dulos' former friend and civil attorney, Kent Mawhinney, is expected to appear in court today. Mawhinney will stand before a judge in the case today as he awaits his trial to be scheduled. Now, he has been charged with conspiracy to commit murder in connection with the disappearance of Jennifer Farber Dulos, the mom of 5, who has not been seen in more than 2.5 years. The judge said that unless a new motion is filed or no new information arises, there will be no need for future case hearings.